couldn't quite remember. I had to put Google Maps on.
Right, so we're now live. Now live. Let's just do this.
Thanks for having us on.
The only thing about this thing is...
Seems late. I haven't been here in ages. I like the new look. I bet you like the new look. It's nice. The apartment's looking great.
So, is this working? No, right. Let me get this. Every time because whenever you do this, it slows everything down. So it's... So, hello everybody. How are you? I'm assuming people have found the way in. That's looking a bit dark. Why is it looking so dark? Let me have a look. This. Yeah, that's better, isn't it? Yes. So, and I've forgotten who it was, that someone told me that they like it when I say so all the time, because I was going to stop doing it, because when I listened back to one of the previous performances, all I did was go, so, la, 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 la. And I was watching the playback and I just thought, oh my God, this is really annoying. It's weird because like with other people, you can pick up on their little sayings and you can sort of, you can sort of, comedy actors do it when they're doing parodies of people. They can pick up on somebody's sayings and go, as my brother used to go to college at this place where the guy was going, so if you've done this and you've done all your work and you've got all the homework ready, and then the whole class would go, you can go to tea. Like that, because everybody knew that he was going to say it. So, but sometimes people like it and sometimes people don't like it. Oreo, get down. The joys of live performance. Now, do you want me to mention you now or later?
Oh, mention me. I'm sorry, I'm just getting myself lathered up.
Okay. He's just getting himself. All I'm going to say is...
Dave's made me a lovely tea here. They won't know who this is, of course.
All I'm going to say is... If anyone wants to have an idea, all you have to do is look behind me there. Look behind me there. Actually, I should have them somewhere. The only problem is if I put...
the crowd go wild.
If I put them anywhere else, they're going to fall down because they're on top of the guitar case there.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to squeeze in. I'm going to come and sit on either on Dave's...
You're not sitting on my lap.
Not like last time. The only thing I didn't bring, and I'll explain why. Oh, hello, let me come in. I didn't bring my guitar.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is this week we have a surprise for you because we have.
Fucking move that out of the way. Hello.
Mr. Oliver Shaw.
Hello. Hi, Mum.
And for those of you that don't know, it's because I've been mentioning this a lot. I keep talking about this. This is Ollie's first album.
It's my first album. That's me doing my sort of Bruce Forsyth.
That is actually Ollie.
It really looks like that.
And but before I didn't have it, but he's just brought it with me. So we have Of Darker Plains, the second album, which means the sequel, which means Ollie.
I honest to God, there were two running titles. Sorry, I wanted to call it either the sequel or there's 10 songs on it. I wanted to literally call it 10 songs.
Well, you know. The
inventive fellow I am. Of Darker Plains.
The Jacobites, Dave Renegade and Nicky Sudden.
Are they relatives of the Jesuits?
No. Their first album, Dave wanted to call it Carry On Cosworth All of a Sudden as a joke because he loves Carry On films. But Nicky Sudden was like, being too serious. Like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that.
That's quite good, though.
So, but yeah.
I think what's weird about this is it's lovely to be on this. I see when I film, A, it takes me absolutely ages when I film something. And B, I can't see. Luckily, I can't see myself. This is quite nice because it's like we're sat for however long, whatever the period of time, looking in the mirror.
Yeah, but that's the problem. I
nice
find when I'm playing sometimes, I'm just looking. I'm like,
we can see ourselves.
It's the ultimate narcissist's tool, this is.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Hello, Katerina. Hello, Gray. Hello, Marianne.
Hello, all.
and all of those other people, because some people aren't showing in here, but they're watching here. But then there are other people you can't see somewhere else. So there, it's weird how it goes up. So what we're going to do today is, I keep saying so, is
God, you're getting lots of messages, Dave. About what's it like?
We've got
hello.
Oliver's,
say hello.
Oliver's going to, because when did this come out?
Well, there was a bit of a spanner in the works, all this virus, because it came out 2 weeks before lockdown. Actually, exactly 8 days before. Well, it's been a spanner in the works, at least for fucking everyone. But this came out.
It's a bit inconvenient, isn't it?
It's a little bit inconvenient. Yeah. This came out literally a week before lockdown. We were meant to have an album launch. Me and I play with a band that I play like. We call it ourselves the Oliver Shaw Experience. And it meant to come out a week before lockdown, and it was going to be at the Dublin Castle in Camden that we all know and love. But unfortunately, Dave was going to be there. You were almost going to be playing at one point. So that was it.
I'm liking this, by the way.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm wearing my old school tie because I thought I'd smarten my act up a bit. We're both we're literally, it's like getting dressed up for radio. This.
Earlier on, I went across the road to the shop, and I've got you can't see this, but I've got these on.
Dave's wearing very high heels today.
And I've got these. And the guys in the shop, because it's hot today, they're like, what is going on? Patricia, hello.
You're wearing your Spurs. Well, they're all Spurs fans around here.
Saudi Arabia in the house. Saudi Arabia.
No shit. Oh, sorry.
Finland.
All the way from there?
Yeah.
My goodness me. What time is it there?
2 hours ahead.
It's Dave Renegade time.
So it's like 8ish.
Oh, that's lovely.
What we're going to do...
Hi, Agata, by the way. I don't know if
she's not there yet. She will be.
Okay.
But what we're going to do is, because with this album...
Yeah.
Ollie was coming on my radio show pretty much 3 or 4 times in the run-up while this was being made. He was like releasing videos and singles.
Which is the most I've come on anything in years.
Oh, I don't know. But what we were saying was that because when this finally came out, it was like I felt like I'd been on the journey with him. And this was his first solo release. And it was so happy for him. Now, with this one, because I haven't been on air, I've not been able to do the same journey with it. So this one...
That's true, actually, yeah. Because you were so supportive. I've written in there, actually. You can see the lovely message I've written for you, though. It's all lovely, loves and kisses. I don't write on the back of it. I made a mistake on my first time. I wrote on the back, which I personally don't like. So I write in the inner sleeve.
No, I like it.
If anyone wants to sign copy.
Yes, so what we're going to do is what Ollie's going to do is going to tell us about the album. He's going to play some songs. I'm going to play some songs too, but I thought it was nice to have Ollie on to come and do some promotion for the album that we didn't get to do.
It's been so long, I've forgotten what the album's about. I was meant to be the week of lockdown. I was meant to be releasing the album, as you say, like literally a week before. Then maybe doing a little tour. Anyway, blah 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 blah, and so on and so forth.
The last gig you did
everything
was the one in Paris.
Is the other at the moment.
Was the last gig you did was Paris?
I mean, I don't know how anyone else is feeling about this. I've mentioned this. I've been saying this like a broken record.
Excellent music, Oliver, she says.
Oh, thank you very much. But I've been saying this like a broken record in itself. But even like when we've had a cup of tea together, a drink, anyone, random friends have seemed like and there could be not non-events, not to down what do you call it? Downplay anything, downplay it. But when you have friends, you sort of take advantage of it a little bit. You meet up, you go for a drink, you think that's a normal night out. I don't go out that much. I go out at gigs a lot. When I play, that's my main going out now.
No, here.
Yeah.
Normally when I see him, it's at his gigs.
And
or he's at mine.
And Dave's seen me very, very drunk, and he's also seen me very, very sober.
Likewise.
Yeah, likewise. But it's one of those things, if you don't appreciate lockdown, lots of people must have found this. I'm stating the obvious, but you think of it's like I played a gig in France, whenever that was, 13 weeks ago. Then I had a lovely pub lunch in Highgate, and I was on Boogaloo Radio, if anyone knows that, with my friend Paul Tippler and a new friend, other Paul, I call him.
I have something to tell you about Paul, actually.
And another friend of mine, new friend Tony, all like friends of Paul Tippler's. Anyway, and Paul Tippler produced the album.
Both of them.
And he's going to do the next one, hopefully, when I can get my, when everyone can get things into gear again. But I was thinking of what golden moments I had, and you thought, oh God. And I went out with my two very good friends, bandmates, Antoine and Harley, with a group of people. We went out in North London and Islington. And I was thinking, Christ, that was what an amazing time that was.
Would you know,
and now it's all,
you are the first
human. Realise how
human.
much you disregard things and how much I missed it.
Well, apart from Agata, you're the first human that my cats have seen since lockdown. In fact,
that's like my mum's Labrador. My mum bought a Labrador puppy, everyone, and it's called Violet, and she bought it, and I've been house training it, and it's been wet nursing me. And
I think we should draw a line there. And I just have visions of.
Yeah, we've got, well, it's nice, it's nice. Dave's pussy seeing other people now,
He's being rude. But one thing I'll say about Paul.
You won't get that in.
I did a gig. Do you know Aaron Sands?
Yes, I do.
Right.
Well, I know him very, very well. He's a good friend of mine. Now he's a new friend, actually, of this year.
It was either the first or the second from last gig that I did before lockdown. I was playing with him, and he was actually I was due the last gig I did.
Because I've seen you both individually there. Sorry.
No, you were at one of them. But there was one where I was meant to be playing with him, and then he pulled out at the last minute because he was getting married. Next week, and I'm like, well, to be honest, I don't blame you.
Well, he did just during lockdown week, and he took a risk, and he was like, well, and his girlfriend, or his now wife, is Russian, and she had family coming over, and they were having a big do, but they did it during lockdown week, and it was like, and that wasn't the same, but it was like me and my album launch. I was like, right, shall I pull it? Shall I postpone it? Blah blah blah. And my other good friend, I always look closest to home, which is my band I play with, my good friends. And they were like, well, no one's going to turn up. And I thought, well, that's one side, but that's irrelevant to the circumstances, really. Let's see how it goes. But actually, myself and the drummer, we've both got kind of parents who might be susceptible, panic might be susceptible to it, and we had to be responsible. And I didn't want a whole big gathering. It seemed like the worst thing in the world to do.
Because you pulled it before, didn't you? You cancelled it
just before a day.
You decided to,
or 2 days before.
It wasn't cancelled. You decided to pull it.
Yeah.
Because you didn't think it was a good idea.
And every 48 hours was like, we all know, but in London, every 48 hours was like, Christ, my Morrisons, all of a sudden, went from being normal Morrisons to looking like something from Judge Dredd, then something from, I don't know, Judge Judy.
Well, no, because what it was, I was playing this gig with Aaron, and Paul Tippler was there. And I didn't realise at first it was him.
Friend. That's how I met.
Because he was recording with Paul. So what I did was I was just sitting there. I was sitting there, and they were talking about you. And Aaron knew about the first album, and then Paul just went, second one's even better. He goes, trust me.
Second one is better, by the way. If anyone wants to buy it, but the second one's really good.
This is the producer who's out, nothing to do with Ollie, telling someone, by the way, he goes, you should get hold of this one. This one's even better. He goes, the first one's really good. This one is. So, it's nice that the producer actually had, he's.
The way I'd explain it now is, I write a lot of songs. I write everything on acoustic. Sorry about. I guess this is plugging it, but I haven't had much of a chance, really.
No, but this is the whole point.
Topical. This things are topical. People have not really picked their ears up, I guess, which is fair enough. I've been the same. But to plug my album a little bit, this is a lot better than my first album. The first album is a collection of songs, and it's got a feeling of romance about it. They're better in different respects. If you're more of a romantic mood, the first album is probably better because it love songs and unrequited love, and that's what I write about best. This one is a little darker. It's slightly rockier. Album 3, I have in mind, because I'm quite good at coming up with ideas a long, long time before I start recording them. Album 3, I'd like to be a little bit more psychedelic, actually.
Oh my goodness me! So he's going to come in. He's already got the glasses. He's already got the shades.
I have. There's an old Jack Nicholson quote, because I wear sunglasses all the time, and he said, "With my sunglasses on," it was quite a long time ago. He said this. "With my sunglasses on, I'm Jack Nicholson. Without my sunglasses, I'm fat and 60 years old." I love that quote. That was quite good, isn't it? And there's a Larry David quote. I know you like Larry David as well. And he says the only people that wear sunglasses indoors are blind people and arseholes. That's not so good.
Well, Larry David is just... for those of you who don't know, Larry David wrote Seinfeld, and then he has his own program called Curb Your Enthusiasm. And he basically says the things that people would, I think, but don't actually want to say. He just comes out. And the good thing about that program is that apparently he gives them the idea
Yeah.
But he doesn't write the script.
It's a bit like that way I write music.
He just basically gives them an idea.
You are right.
He gives them an idea, and then it's like there's one bit where it says, "Fuck you, you cunt flap something or other," and that was the woman on saying it. That was her, just came out of her mouth.
Really?
So the people who look stunned in the scene actually are, because no one's ever heard that word before.
It's hilarious. If you've not seen it, actually, to be honest, I quite like Seinfeld. Seinfeld was like almost like Friends
Kramer
before
was
Friends. Yeah, Kramer was good. I quite like it. Maybe I was too young. It was on when I was quite a little kid, and it was on the whole duration of my childhood. There's like 1,000 episodes. But Curb Your Enthusiasm, I think it's next level. And Larry David himself said it's on HBO. And the reason he said he'd only ever do it if it was on HBO, and he pulled a lot of strings to get it on there, because he can swear and say what he wants, basically. So you hear all sorts of lewd words like,
Elizabeth says she loves your videos.
Thank you. I love yours, Elizabeth.
With...
Oh, sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
The reason why I'm bringing up videos is because Ollie took a picture of himself in the park yesterday, I think it was.
I'm always taking pictures of myself in the park.
He was doing a storyboard sketch for Burmese taxidermy.
I am. I have a new thing about plugging. I have a new music video. It's a good friend of mine, Angela, and she supports me very much, as all my friends do. Actually, and she's an artist, and she is agreed. Well, I begged her to make me something I've always wanted. She's doing for a punk song, a very punky, nasty song on the album called Burmese Taxidermy. She's doing a cartoon of my next music video. I like most of my videos. I sketch. I'm not an amazing sketcher, but I'm a terrible sketcher.
Yeah, but you have a distinctive style.
Yeah, I guess I do. Actually, I'm 36 years old and I draw like a 12-year-old. I guess that in itself is quite endearing.
Well, when he first did, when I first got to know him, he used to.
Hello, beautiful.
He'd take a picture. Oh. He'd take a picture and go tonight's menu, and he would have the songs written down with a little caricature sketch of yourself.
Yeah.
So it is actually, it's actually quite distinctive.
Yeah, there's an element of it also, my music is a little serious sometimes, and sometimes a little sad, and sometimes it is a little dark.
Well, life is serious and sad sometimes.
But so it's nice to lighten the load a little bit. There's one thing I always loved about Radiohead, actually. Their artwork is whimsical, and it's quite serious and can be quite dark little world that they have. But I quite like the fact it's a bit like Spike Milligan. Spike Milligan, his cartoons that he used to draw himself, they're quite dark actually when you get into them, but they look quite innocent. They look like, who's that great guy who used to do Roald Dahl's? Oh, he's famous. I can never remember his name. He did Roald Dahl sketches.
I know the sketches.
Anyone knows? He's famous. He was like Sir something in the end.
Do you?
Yeah.
I was going
to
ask.
The guy who did Roald Dahl's famous sketches. If anyone knows, please let me know.
On the next album, is your song about Spike Milligan going to be on it?
Which one? Holes in the Sky.
Yeah.
I mean, that's such a direct reference. As time's gone on, actually, you know how you write stuff. Well, you know this as much as I do. Anyone that writes, I guess, it's kind of like people say they're like kids. I don't know. I don't have any kids, but there's something in that you do love them with your very soul. You might write something. A lot of these new albums, whatever I've got now, this one was mostly written in the last 2 years. There's one song I wrote 15 years ago, so. You know, and it's quite a mixture of times. If I sat down with a pen and pad, I could work out when I wrote it. But that song is a song I've got Dave's referencing, or talking about, called Holes in the Sky. And it's a very direct reference to Spike Milligan. And it's funny, and me now, that's a lovely thing I find about songwriting. I wouldn't use that title, I would never write about it. But I was 21 when I wrote that, roughly. And it's, as time's gone on, you think, oh, it's quite sweet, actually. It's like the old Beatles. John Lennon's one regret, he said, was, what was it he said? They said, what was your main regret about the Beatles? And he said, oh, the name. But it's great, it's sweet, and it's lovely, and it's great, and it's a slight play on words, but it's not a very good one, considering, you know, it's like beat Beatles, you know. And it's great, but it's amazing. It's one of the best names ever.
Why?
It's like the Arctic Monkeys, I thought was a terrible name, but now as time's gone on, Alex Turner's like roughly my age, I think, and you think, yeah, it's great. What a great name, the Arctic Monkeys. Well, at the time, I thought it was terrible.
I have a song on my album that was originally called "My Heart Is Like a Graveyard of Memories," but
that's a good title, though.
But what I did, there was a band from America called the Darts. It was like an all-girl band, and they were fantastic. And they had a song called "My Heart Is Like a Graveyard," and I thought that's a great song title. So I nicked it, and then just wrote a whole load of music. But it was kind of like, it was a bit, oh, woe is me, oh. So I changed it into a song about gentrification, and now it's called The Way Things Used to Be. And all I did was...
one? Yeah, it's very good, that one.
I only changed 2 lines in the 3rd verse, but it changed that. And now it's called The Way Things Used to Be, and it's better for it.
Well, that's really nice. Yeah, that's a really nice title.
I mean, if I'd recorded the album and finished it, it would still be called My Heart Is Like a Graveyard of Memories.
Also, sometimes as times go on, you must find this, that some songs get a certain clarity. I've rewritten stuff because you think, oh, and it's the same meaning or sentiment, but sometimes a change in a line can make it more potent, I guess. I never bought into that old Noel Gallagher quote, like quoting too many people here, of, oh, lyrics are not important. I think that just suits his personality, you know, the way he is, and he says stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's whimsical. I think it's vitally important. And actually, ironically, he had that gift that people used to sing his songs in, whether it be football grounds or in the street at the time. He had that great thing of,
that knack.
The anthemic, you know, people used to, you know, anthems and stuff. And he's a knack, you know.
When he talks about Don't Look Back in Anger, he said when he wrote it, it was a song about a particular thing, and now it's not. It means lots of different things to lots of different people, because
people were singing it in the Manchester disaster.
After the bombing, that became the anthem of Manchester.
And it was really heartfelt. I mean, I found it very heartfelt, and I'm not any connection to Manchester, but in a human way, it was, you know, it was such a horrific thing. And that song was like the swan song of the whole event. You know?
Well, that was the anniversary was a few weeks ago.
Really, yeah. Actually, so many things have like just, you know, gone into the mist of no one knows what's going on anymore.
Do you think we should do Do you think we should play some music? Because
I'll let you.
You want me to play?
Oh yeah, because I've walked here for miles and miles. I've walked from Wood Green's fucking miles away. No one doesn't live in London. London is massive, and it takes hours. I live in North London. It's taken me an hour and a half to walk.
I live in North London.
It was a lovely walk. Yeah. Where are each ends of North London? I'm
going to sing that song.
I'm at the arse end. Oh yes, please.
This song, normally when I play it live, I normally say, this is song's a bit slow, and basically, you know, if people need to take a quick piss, now's the time to go. If you go now, when you come back, I'll still be playing it. But it's about gentrification. It's about like
reading some of these
cities of New York, Berlin, Paris, anywhere like that. And it goes like this. It's like a graveyard of memories. Looking back on happier times and the way things they used to be. Once there was love and laughter, sunshine forever, blue skies. Now there's nothing left now, except the tears falling from my eyes. There's nothing left now of the way things used to be. My heart is like a graveyard of memories of the way things used to be, of the way things used to be. Now it's all over and everyone has gone away. There was a time thought it would last forever and a day, but now we're all older We know the things, but they just ain't built to last. Try as I might, I'm still a prisoner to my past. There's nothing left now of the way things used to be. My heart is like a graveyard of memories of the way things used to be. Of the way things used to be. This is the new verses. Great song. As I look around this town now, everything I once knew seems to disappear. I learn less and less with each passing year. And as my memories of this town disappear into the mist of time, won't you tell me your story? You just heard mine. There's nothing left now of the way things used to be. My heart is like a graveyard of memories of the way things used to be. Of the way things used to be.
Hey! Beautiful song, mate. It's really good.
I need to write it down because
It's one of my favourites of yours. I'm a big fan of Dave. I mean, obviously, we're friends, but you know, I've grown to know and love his music over the last.
I've lost my pen.
Since I've known you, really, you know.
Well, we're fans of each other's music.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, like, I'm looking forward to hearing this because I've heard it.
I know his videos and stuff, but so if anyone wants to find my videos, if you type in my name Oliver Shaw on YouTube, you'll see my videos now. I've been flitzing it so much. I think if you just type in my name, I come up, and I like YouTube videos. It's a chance for me to actually. My lyrics are quite visual, so for me, I love videos more than ever now because they tell a little story, and I can try and play around. But
that's the good thing about
yours are as well, yeah. And sometimes it's better, you know. And they're not in the old music video sense of because I've never would have done that anyway. If I'd have had a chance, you know, me with a few babes.
I was going to say, I've got an idea.
Robert Palmer, you know.
I've got an idea for a video. Right? Don't tell anyone. I've got an idea, right? Me. Red sports car, loads of scantily clad women.
Yeah,
well, no one's ever come up with that before, have they?
No.
Driving down the road, you know, with a bunch of girls. You know.
That's so sexist.
Don't tell Motley Crue.
Being so no, yeah. You never get anything like that anymore. I wonder after this, all the I don't want to talk politics, but it's almost like we're all acting like hornets at the minute and are waiting for our nest to be pressed. We're so volatile, if that's the right word.
To be honest,
very volatile. I mean, we're on social media. I'd use it less if I wasn't a musician. Maybe I wouldn't. I don't know.
I wouldn't use it at all. If I didn't do music radio, I wouldn't be on it at all.
For you, it's you use it in a lovely way because actually you've got fans and you social. And I guess I have a little bit as well. And I love the people that follow my music and and then his friends and stuff. And it's not just in an innocent way. It's for staying in contact with old uncles and aunties and whatever and cousins and people that you might not just WhatsApp or whatever. So it is a nice thing of keeping in sync with what's going on a little bit. But that's on a very personal level. As far as keeping in sync with what's going on surrounding us, it's quite volatile times at the moment.
Well, I mean, if it wasn't
I just want to keep, I want to be able to function, go back to some normality, and then there's more and more problems. We've just got a Brexit.
Well, I've been steering clear of social media the last couple of days, apart from this,
Yeah.
because there's too much hatred and ignorance going around.
It's horrible.
And
there's people I know really caught up in it as well. And
there's a couple of people I know who spend they post something and then they spend the rest of the day, and I mean the whole day, arguing with people diametrically opposed to what they think. And I'm like, I've got things to do. I haven't got time for this. I write something. I might comment occasionally and go, that's it. That's all. And then you've got someone that comes in and wants to argue. And I'm like, mate, I said, she told someone the other day, I said, you might have all day to argue about this, but I haven't. I'm busy. Sorry. No need to be rude,
a lot of it is designed to, I've got this, me and my little quotes, and I think really fear at the moment in this country, the media is using it as fear is selling more than sex is, in this country. And actually that's always long may that continue, and that probably will. Fear does sell better than sex here in England. We love it.
Agata's just popped in. She's like, I did not expect to see
just
that.
Just when I'm talking about sex, you pop in. What do you think of that comment?
Look what I have here.
It's the real thing.
Well, no, she loves this. She loves this album. So,
thank you. Thank you very much. But I don't know. It is a big hornet's nest. That's a better analogy. A big bloody hornet's nest, and I don't want to get involved. And I just feel sorry for people that are personal, but I know personally that are getting involved innocently and being affected by it.
It's a big hornet's nest, and no one wants to be stung on the arse.
Race is a big issue. So is sexuality. But and it's and everyone will have a different take on it. So it's
my fear.
But violence is also something that shouldn't be evoked. I don't think.
My one comment I'm going to make is the thing that worries me the most is if the guy who murdered George Floyd gets let off either completely or lightly.
I wish he'd have murdered Pink Floyd.
It will go mental. Because the problem is in America, the police unions are very powerful and they can put pressure on people to get let off or a light service. And if that happens, that's my only comment on it, is that if...
Again, it's just pushing, it's feeding like takeaway food, it's feeding hysteria and it's feeding violence because it's a domino effect. So we've done it, we've been and done it, we've had enough in London.
I don't
People
think...
are just getting over this fucking lockdown thing.
I don't think anyone who's seen that video can be in any doubt that the cop needs to go down for murder.
No. Where does it start though, and where does it end? Most of my family are Jews. If it had been a little Jewish accountant killed, who would have given a fucking shit? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
I'm sorry to try and be punk about this, but it's not. It's true. If it'd been your local Indian shopkeeper or a little Chinese guy, would it have been the same? It's like, where does it start and where does it end? If it had been a gay guy,
it's the thing that worries me
drives me insane.
The thing that worries me is...
I'm not trying to evoke anything here, but I'm fed up with the violence.
The original cause has been hijacked. It definitely has been hijacked.
Yeah, but as it always happens.
She's with Kasha.
Oh, hello, Kasha. Who's Kasha?
You know Kasha. Oh, no, it's Joe that knows Kasha. It's your friend. You do know her.
Look at my lovely Johnny Depp mug. Oh, no, that's what you call him.
Kasha came to see you play at the Mixer one time.
Oh, Kasha! How are you doing? Yes, I do know Kasha. How are you doing,
something
darling?
on. You do.
I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names.
Long dark hair.
Yes, I'm terrible with names, but not faces.
Yes, he does.
See, Kasha met me when I was in a very drunk.
Look, she said typical.
I'm a bastard.
I knew that it would happen. I was worried you'd bring the blonde home. No, I brought Ollie.
Yeah, I might be having my hair dyed blonde actually, by the way. Just a streak. Well, my hair's going grey, so I thought, what are my options?
You're not getting. Why not be a silver fox?
Well, because I'm not really quite silver, and I'm not.
I think you'd make a great silver fox.
My older brother's hilarious. I think I'm funny. But my older brother's like, he's about 11 years older than me. He's a self-proclaimed silver fox. And he went grey when he was roughly my age, maybe a bit completely grey. He ran over a deer, and within a day, he went grey, completely white.
I had this conversation with Gahania. She doesn't believe that that's true. And it's like people can go white and grey overnight. They can.
It's true. It's absolutely 100% true. Yeah, that's why I've started to do my album covers in black and white, you see.
I'm gonna do a song because I got a couple of requests, and then Ollie's gonna play some. This next song, it goes out to Matty Roxx in New Zealand, who tunes in. Apparently, he downloads. And I was talking to him earlier.
Matty White, we've got a mutual friend. Matty White's a fan of the new.
Yeah, well, Matty, she might be out tuned in because I let her know.
Oh, really? Hello, lots of love you, Matty. You're watching.
And this song goes to Matty Roxx, who's a guy, and he lives in New Zealand. I met him.
Hello, Matty.
I met him at Camden Rocks last year, and took him to see Dave Cosworth play.
Who's that?
Dave Cosworth, the other half of the Jacobites.
Oh, yeah.
So this one, I'll do Silver Street. This is for you, Matty.
Third member of the Jesuits.
Down from the Bible Belt and down to Silver Street, Victoria Oasis in the afternoon, at the place we always used to meet. And the girls there are dressed in powder blue. They're always crawling through my head. And Jody, she's as pretty as a mother used to be. As pretty as a mother used to be. You just don't know. You just don't know. Black velvet jacket and hair of antique lace. He came down to Silver Street. Kisses like the ring of the purest uncut gold. I couldn't help but see her there. And the girl with the leather in her shoes, she's always crawling through my hair. And Jody, she's as pretty as a mother used to be. As pretty as a mother used to be. You just don't know. You just don't know. Instrumental bit here.
Looking about this, Dave's playing a song I've never heard.
It's a Jacobite song. It's a cousin of Dave's song. From the first album.
That's one of yours.
You just don't know. You just don't know. I moved down from the Bible Belt and down to Silver Street. I couldn't cry, but cried just to see her there at the place we always used to be. And the girls there are dressed in powder blue. They're always crawling through my hair. And Jody, she's as pretty as a mother used to be. As pretty as a mother used to be. As pretty as we used to be. As pretty as we used to be. As pretty as you.
I love that. Olé! I love that. I'll tell you what.
That was for Matty.
This is fucking great being here, by the way.
That was for Matty.
Matty, that was for you, boy.
Because he asked me to do that or Paint and Sugar. Now, I have played Paint and Sugar with Dave, but it kind of goes... Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Da, da, da. I don't know the words. I haven't played it.
It's funny because the words are very beautiful in that last one you just played. Actually, was it Nicky Sutton that wrote that? Or
they wrote it together. It was the first song they wrote together.
Really, there's something that's quite, I don't know what the right word is. It's super ethereal.
Funnily enough, on this album, there was a review by who was it that wrote that?
A very lovely woman who's quite sexy, actually, who came to speak your mind, Ollie. But she's very lovely, and I'm quite into older women for the first time in my life. Anyway,
Jacobites have
try something new after all this lockdown. You know, why not? It's not going to kill us. So, but no, I mean, not much older, you know, a few years. But she doesn't use Facebook, so I can say what I want. However, she did this lovely review. There's a magazine called Moof Magazine, and it's a psychedelic magazine. And people have always linked my stuff with, you know, well, people as if or whatever. But so a lot of people have linked my stuff with psychedelic. It's not really. It's quite classic British songwriting, if there was a thing to it. Anyway, and this lovely woman came to watch my band
review, by the way,
in Paris, and she came to watch the Oliver Shaw experience in Paris, and I was really proud of it. Actually, she wrote this beautiful review about my music, and she referenced Nicky Sutton.
She referenced Nicky Sutton a lot.
Amazing,
I mean, if that had
really,
been,
I wasn't familiar as much.
If that had been my album review, I would have been over the moon.
I was genuinely touched by it, actually. It was really nice.
It's a really well thought out piece by someone that obviously cares passionately about music.
It's also nice because, you know, the reviewers, they kind of like, I don't know about make or break you. You're never going to give up. It's like, you know, but or you know, it's something that's a part of you. But it is nice if someone notices you, you know.
If I didn't know you and I read that review, I would check you out straight away.
Well, a few people bought the vinyl. If you want to buy this vinyl, I know no one's buying much at the moment, but if you like to buy either of my vinyls, because I've sold a few yesterday, I will handwrite some lyrics for you if you want. You can PM me on my page.
Last of English Cowboys is the debut album.
But both albums are available if you type my name on Music
of Darker Plains. Yes.
Yeah. Or my website.
I'm going to the loo. Tell
them. Don't leave me to it. What? I'm swapping seats. All right then. I'm swapping seats with Dave for a moment. Hi, how you doing? Agata, by the way, you've changed his flat around. It looks wonderful. just as a comment. Maybe I'll play you a song then. All right. Well, Dave's in the loo, because I don't know what the hell to talk about. I feel weird. We got Dave's cat over there, who's beautiful. Oreo. I don't quite know where the other ones have gone. So. Right, I will play you a song called Falling in Love Again, and I hope that you like it. This is from my first album, so I said my first album is a bit more romantic. Okay, I hope you enjoy this. 2, 3, 4. Broken pieces of our hearts remain to where old news replace the blues. Stuck a needle into a dirty vein. I wanted you right from the start, but I'm falling in love again. love again. Falling for you, I feel like I'm me again, so free again. This time it's true, and I'm falling in love. Yes, I am. Broken pieces, and our young hearts still gain. Wait a second. Those autumn leaves replace the new. Is this real, or is it just a game? Well, we'll never know. When I still want you right from this poor old heart. I'm falling in love again, love again. Falling for you, I feel like I'm me again, so free again. You're pulling me through, and I'm falling in love. What's wrong with you now? We're two and so high. What for? I need you, darling, more than I do this song. This one's from Move magazine. And I'm falling in love again, love again. I never watched it. I feel like I'm me again, so free again. You're pulling me through, and I'm falling in love again, oh, in love again. And I feel like I'm me again, so free again. This time it's you, and I'm falling in love. Thank you.
That's one of my favourite songs
ever.
No, the reason why that I always have this
lovely guitar. I'm playing in someone else's, using another man's instrument. It's
that's
quite
all right.
Unusual,
that's
I never usually do that. It's just my guitar's just something up with it.
The album launch for Last of the English Cowboys.
Yes. It's a good cover, isn't it? I know it's like,
no,
it's like blowing my own trumpet. They're both good covers.
But it was at the Dublin Castle, and the band were playing it, and there was a bunch of people. It started off as one couple, were sort of doing like ballroom dancing to it.
That was yes, I know who that was actually.
No, but it ended up being about. There was at least 20 or 30 people were doing it.
Yeah, so that was really touching because I was very nervous that night. It was quite full.
That's when
full house at Dublin Castle. It was a really nice night, just like Christmas week 2018.
I have the poster. I have the poster from my wall. But
what was really sweet.
What it was, it started off as just a couple doing a dance to it, swaying, and then everyone joined in and they're playing, and that's the memory of that song.
You know what that's about that song? I can finally talk about it because it's taken ages. And there's songs can be about this little acorn that you plant, and it can be about anything. But it's actually about my ex-girlfriend and I were very much in love, and things went very wrong. And, you know, I can talk openly about this. But basically, we didn't speak, you know, we blocked each other. She blocked me and I blocked her, whatever.
Yeah, but that's what, sometimes that happens.
She blocked me, is the truth.
Raw emotion.
You know, and we hadn't spoken. All of a sudden, through something, I think I had a go at a friend in a moment of drunken anger and stupidness.
Peak of anger.
And she got back in contact with me. And I didn't do it so that she got back in contact. Anyway, it's a long-winded story. But we were messaging each other. And it was about re-falling in love with her, actually. Which means nothing now because we argued again and that was it. This is an ex-relationship of 5 years ago, and this was like 3 years ago, but that was it. And she's never in a million years be watching this, but I'm saying to you.
Yeah, but it's a big part of your life.
It was about re-falling in love with someone. I'm falling in love again, or being in memory. She probably presumed if she'd heard it, I'd fall in love with someone else, but it wasn't that. I'll never be in love.
I think
it's in the same way again because each time you fall in love is different.
But to me, it's like you got a good song out of it, and it's a genuine, heartfelt song. You know, it's not like
The video's quite happy as well. If you see the video, it's one of my happier songs, a more positive note.
What I said, I just remember Dublin Castle, everyone doing that, doing the swaying dance to it, and the band.
That was
because
very touching. Yeah.
I was used to hearing it solo.
I love the fact that my band, sorry, I'll just say this, is Greg. They're all really close friends of mine. A guy called Greg.
Greg Edwards.
Greg Edwards. We're in a band called the Garage Flowers together. Antoine, French geezer, who's a lead guitarist, and Harley, who's in a great band called the Tremodels, and he plays bass with myself, and he's on this new album. Anyway, blah blah blah. But Antoine, our guitarist, my really good friend, he was saying he said when we play gigs, he's a classic lead guitarist, and I guess it's my thing that I front.
He's got a nice feel though.
He's lovely. He's a very phenomenally talented guitarist, in my opinion. But he's very much kind of a head down,
Yeah, but he's
like the old Graham Coxon, or I don't know, or Brian May. But if you watch Brian May, he's not like flamboyant.
Well, he had Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, but
you can't be more flamboyant than Freddie Mercury.
Really, the guitar is his voice on stage, and I'm the opposite. I try and get myself,
Yeah, but
it's my time on stage.
He plays nice melodic lead.
Oh, he's great.
He plays good stuff.
His songs are very good as well, actually. We all do different projects in my band, because it's.
They are. Matty's here. Matty's here.
Which Matty? Matty White.
Matty White is here.
Matty White. Where are you saying that?
Yeah.
I can't see that. Well, that doesn't say her name.
Yeah, but that's her. It's obviously it's her. She said we're not social distancing.
We're not. And you should have seen us before, Matty. That's all I can say.
Well, we've got our clothes back on.
Yeah. I got my old school tie on. Yeah. Hello, Matty. Love you to bits.
I'm not going to say something. I'm actually not going to say anything.
Wait, what? What could you say?
I could say an awful lot.
Yeah, I know. I've heard. So I've watched these about lockdown. These have been enjoying these videos. Lovely to be on here.
Oh, and
beautiful.
There's a cat involved.
But these have been a joy because last however long it's been, 12 weeks or so, I've watched these episodes every week. Even if I can't watch it live, I've watched it of an evening until it's like a canned, and I've got my joss sticks and I've got my Bovril on the go, and I sit there.
Bovril. I didn't know you done it.
Yeah,
Bovril boy.
And shove an OXO cube in there, swish it all around with some stuff. No one's going to care. And I've sit here listening. I've listened to these, and they're great.
I'm sorry, Ollie. I've caused some permanent damage.
I know. By the way, your guitar is an Epiphone. Obviously, it's lovely to play. It's very nice.
It's a delicate little madam.
So I play Gretsch. I play Gretsch Junior.
Of decadence.
Most of whatever songs, whoever cares, have been written on this Gretsch Junior. I've had it for years. It's like a part of mine.
This is my favourite sounding guitar.
Oh, it's a 12 string. I've just even noticed that.
I've played many 12 strings in my life, but this one sounds the best. This one is on the album. It's just like, I just love this guitar.
So the demos that you've been doing are really lovely.
Oh, he's interviewing me now.
I've been watching lots of old interviews. I've been watching, only because he's had some amazing guests. I know it's like to us, our English ears and eyes, we might not be as familiar, but I can't remember his fucking name now. What the hell is his name? The American TV show, Letterman. David Letterman. Yeah.
Which one of us is David Letterman?
Me, obviously.
Okay, good. Good.
But he's had
that's my penguin.
Andy Kaufman, if anyone knows him, he's a great American comedian. And there's a movie, Man on the Moon. But he was a friend of David Letterman. He used to have him on in the early 80s or whatever. And he's had everyone. He's amazing guests over the years. From
Letterman was like something people did that on
Clint
Saturday
Eastwood
nights.
to Andre the Giant to anyone that's culturally to Radiohead to everyone.
Letterman was like a Saturday night. That's
it
what
was
people
live
did.
as well. Because that was a big deal. It's a bit like Jonathan Ross has kind of modelled himself on him, but he's kind of.
Who was it?
The original Jonathan Ross show, from 15, 20 years ago, was really, really good. Actually, it was of that ilk.
There's a classic one where I was watching Johnny Carson interview Frank Sinatra.
Right.
And oh god, what's the
I've
guy's
seen it,
name?
'cause I'm saying this. I watched hours and hours on
What's
YouTube.
the guy's name? The Jewish comedian, bald, walks in and just takes over. And
Larry David.
No, it wasn't Larry David. It was oh my god, he said Don someone. Don
Cheadle.
Don Ricks. He comes on, and bearing in mind this is like the 70s.
Yeah.
Sinatra is a serious mob guy.
Yeah.
And he sits there and starts going, Comanche wants a message. And he starts reporting to him like he's a mob boss, and like anyone else would have got killed for it.
Yeah.
And Frank is pissing himself.
There's an old Nancy Sinatra. Nancy is a daughter, obviously. Nancy Sinatra said, I think it was to Jonathan Ross. I even know like interviews, blocks of them stick in my mind. But he said, Jonathan Ross asked Nancy Sinatra. He said, was he, was he involved in the mob? She said, yes, heavily. She said, was it, lots of people said, he wasn't a very nice man. I don't know why people are obsessed by who's nice and who's not. Who the hell cares? But they were saying, was he a nice man? And she said, yes, he was nice to me, but to me he was daddy. And I thought that was quite a cool.
Well, yeah,
of course, but he was daddy's little girl. Fucking anyone else.
Well, he's the guy who
their legs off.
He's the guy
who go at Sammy Davis Jr. once. He's very protective over his friends as well.
Well, that was another thing. This guy Don Ricks was doing a roast of I can't remember if it was Frank Sinatra. Or not Dean Martin. Yeah. And Dean was falling asleep. He's like, Dean, wake up! Like that. Yeah. Because he was mates with all of them. Don Ricks, his name is. He's amazing.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Ice Cream Van.
Jackie Mason used to be good.
Ice Cream Van.
Oh yeah, that's actually we takeaway. You can get ice cream vans to your home on Deliveroo now. Whoever's asking that, you should try.
That's Matty.
Oh, hello, Matty. Mr. Whippy coming up the stairs.
I think your version of Mr. Whippy's got nothing to do with ice cream.
No.
I mean, earlier on when he said he was on his way, he's like, get your levers on or something.
I must have texted Dave about 15 times. So I'm on my way, and I was miles away.
Get your levers on.
That song that you played earlier was about gentrification, did you say? I mean, you notice that I'm from London, from North London. I've lived pretty much lived about 5 years in, East London, maybe a couple of years in Paris. But mainly in and around North London, and you do see things change. And at the moment, one of my great joys in life, apart from music and apart from talking, is walking. I love walking. I absolutely love it.
I don't
drive. I don't ride a moped or anything. I absolutely love it. And you do notice drastic changes. But you see it going around you. You feel like a hamster in a wheel, and the world's changing, around you, and you're in the same sort of place, in the same position,
When I came to look at this place, I remember coming out of the tube station, going, "Okay."
It doesn't make you feel any different, is what I say personally.
I started walking down the road, and I didn't know where the fuck I was. And I'm walking down the road, and I'm like, "Okay." And then as it got, and I was starting to think, Jesus, because it was starting to get a little bit like wild. It was like bandit country. It was like beginning to look like I remember once I had to work down by Millwall, down by the Den.
Oh yeah.
And round there is like everywhere is a perfect place for a murder. Yeah. And I was walking up here, and I was like, Jesus Christ! There was like buildings that were literally derelict, and I'm like, sooner or later I'm gonna get killed. But now I've lived here for 12 years.
I mean, I've been wearing 2.5-inch heels for the last 3 years.
Yeah, but that's just for your prostitution.
And I've managed to remain in one day, one bit.
Well, that's
all right. I don't feel much taller, to be honest.
That's because
I don't feel much longer for this world.
Your heels have come in great handy with businessmen of a certain age.
Yeah, they have. I've earned, but I'm a lot richer, folks.
Exactly.
What do you think of that?
Exactly, a businessman of a certain.
Businessmen who are long for this world.
Well, I say nothing.
Yeah.
I probably can't say that, so I'll probably get told off.
Yeah.
Going back to Jonathan Ross, I'm friends with that girl.
I saw him.
The girl with the phone call.
Huh?
The phone call.
Yes,
I know her. She's a friend of mine.
Do you? The whole Russell Brand incident?
Yeah, I've known her for a long time before that.
We're not fucking ready. Yeah. that.
I remember ringing her after that happened. I said to her,
that was a weird mixed bag of
no,
things.
but I remember
wasn't it?
ringing her.
That was
and saying to her,
pre-social media as social media is now.
Can you
It's about
imagine it
15
now?
years ago.
Can you imagine it now? Oh my God.
Yeah.
She's-
Andrew
Sachs.
Sachs.
She's very different now.
What exactly happened? Russell Brand slept with her and then
Well,
posted
no,
about it on Jonathan Ross's show, and they called Andrew Sachs to say that, oh, I shouted your granddaughter.
Yeah.
That was weird.
He was out of order. Shouldn't have done it. I mean,
no.
by all means,
And
if you
that-
want to say that stuff, but you don't ring up some old guy and take it.
That really, it's funny though, career-wise and whatever, because that really affected Jonathan Ross's career. I know he's still on primetime TV, but at the time he was going to get the sack from the BBC and pretty much did get a huge warning. He got banned for a certain time period, which was weird. They should have either sacked him or not. They just thought they'd wait it out and see if people forgot about it. But he got banned for like 6 months from the BBC. Then he was allowed back on. Then he was so PC, and it's like, which fits in with modern times. He was so PC that he just wasn't funny anymore.
Well, the worst
And he
thing
moved
that
into ITV. Russell Brand was still not rock and roll, and that didn't harm his career as much. He was in a Hollywood career, and in America they don't know who the hell Andrew Sachs is.
But the
They know
problem
Fawlty
is,
Towers, but they're not really
it caused
the
the
same.
rift
He's an
between her
actual
and her
treasure
grandparents, which never healed.
Sad, isn't it? And he passed away like that one.
Yeah,
4 or 5 years
it
ago.
caused the family thing that never healed.
Well, that's been pulled for race stuff.
Yes, I know.
Fawlty Towers.
Oh, she's asking us, where's the music? You guys...
Well, aren't you enjoying our lovely talking?
I'm not with you guys. These...
Huh?
Do you want a strumming song? Do you want my new strumming song?
Yeah.
I'm going to change places.
Change positions. I've been keeping the seat nice and
Me
warm for
Me
you.
and Sir Oliver are changing positions.
Let me go and make a cup of tea.
It's your turn to...
Dave, do you want anything in the kitchen?
No, I'm okay, thank you. It's your turn to change position.
Yes. Agata, I'm sure that you hear that.
Behave yourself, mister. She's gone off. Sorry, everyone's looking at my bum.
Dave, I'm making myself tea. I don't know why.
Of course it is. Hey, you do what you gotta do, huh? You do what you gotta do. Right, this one's gonna go out to Matey. This is the one that I put up on my SoundCloud yesterday, and it's called "Moving Away." And there's a long story to this, but probably I can tell you another time. Suffice to say, I wrote it with a friend of mine in our first band in 1989. And then later on, I used it to secure a very lucrative management deal, and I got to work with Bernie Taupin. So that was quite handy. And it goes something like this. I've been sitting here thinking what went wrong, what went wrong. Yesterday was like a dream, not everything is as it seems. Got no reason for coming back. I'm on the road and I'm never coming back. I'm moving. That you do, and everything that reminds me of you, of you, of you. everything that I just could not be, to be the envy of all your friends. And that's where our story ends. You don't care, you never will, about the tears I'm crying. Now you're not there. I'm moving away. I'm moving away from everything that you do, everything that reminds me of you. We'll be the same way in a few years. Or will you still be drowning in your own tears? Will you run for safety from my heart? Or will you leave me in 1,000 tiny parts? I'm moving away. I'm moving away from everything that you do, everything that reminds me of you, of you, of you, of you, of you, of you, of you. That's
I really like that one. You like that?
well, I said it's a new one. It's the one I uploaded yesterday, but it's not. It's actually written in 1989. So it's like,
Jesus.
that was the first song I ever. We used to be in a band. We started when we were like 13, and we split up because we got drunk, and I dropped my guitar on stage, fell on the floor, and I didn't notice. I'm running around the stage playing air guitar without knowing. And someone put it back on me, I didn't notice. And then the drummer leant backwards while he was playing and fell off and knocked. I just remember drums coming crashing around me while I was playing. And I looked round and all I could see was his legs sticking up in the air and his manic laughter. And that was the end of the band for a couple of years. But then we decided to go to do it again. And I said, well, let's do it properly this time. Yeah. And that was the first song we wrote. That was the first proper song I ever wrote. Well, I say I wrote. I wrote the music. He wrote the lyrics.
That's very good.
So they're his lyrics.
When was the last time you played it? Had you ever recorded it before? Or is it...
Yeah, I recorded it in the 90s. That's the one that got us our album management
deal. The songs, I find whenever you write them, they come out when they want to almost. They do form a life of their own. And, just at certain times during this lockdown period, I sort of, remembered lots of songs that I had written. Because I was on quite a road for the last couple of years and a bit more rock and roll and a bit darker, which is part of my music as well. Which is, as you know, part of my very psyche. However, I remembered slightly sweeter ones actually, and slightly more lovey-dovey ones recently.
What's in that flask?
So, coffee. I brought the flask with me just because I'm like that when it's something new. I brought a flask which has taken 2 weeks to arrive because I've been going on these long walks and what have you. And there's been the odd coffee shop open.
Didn't you want a tea? I thought you were making
I've got one behind the
It's got tea and coffee.
Yeah.
There's a song. Tea and coffee goes to go to bed. Oh, tea and coffee will mess with your head.
It's more like coffee and TV. That's been my life.
Coffee and TV.
It's been my life for the last.
It suits me. coffee and
What are people
TV.
writing? Just put hello.
Who's JLSX?
Jeanette!
Oh,
Hey! You got two very excited young men here.
Behave yourself. Actually,
Lovely to see you, my darling, and I hope you're doing well. Love to all the family. It's not like I'm reading that off of the thing, but no, it's a genuine surprise.
I've actually just seen Acey is there. Acey, is your house okay? Because where she lives in, is it?
Yeah.
It's North Carolina, isn't it?
Oh, Jesus.
And there was a big fire going on, and I'm like, "Are you going to tune in today?" She goes, "It depends, because the fire's getting closer and closer to her house. So hopefully,
stay safe. Don't go out. That is a reason for not fucking going out. If there was one.
Well, do you know what I'm going to do? This next song, I'm going to do this song. This is for Acey.
All right, and we'll sort of pseudo dedicate it to Jeanette as well. I'll dedicate one for Jeanette.
Yeah. Well, this one is one of my songs that I've been playing that Acey said she likes, and
Acey.
I'm going to dedicate this to Acey and her late husband Barry. So this is for you. This is called Marianne, and yeah, you said you like it. And it's been comforting. So this is for you. Oops. You were together for so many years, lots of smiles, love and laughter, maybe just a few tears. But you were together till the very end, not just partners in love, but each other's best friend. Oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne. And your love will keep you together forever and a day. And your memories will burn bright inside till the end of time. Oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne. And then you had to go away. I know he thinks about you each and every, and he carries you now in his heart and memories, and that's the way it will always be. Oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne. And your love will keep you together forever and a day. And your memories will burn bright inside till the end of time. Oh, Marianne, oh, Marianne, oh, Acey and Barry, oh, Acey and Barry, oh, Acey and Barry. That was for you, Acey. For you and your husband, Barry. I'm sorry that
song,
he's no longer with us, unfortunately. But that's on the album. I've recorded it. It's going to be on the album. But that's for you. Unfortunately, it was written for a friend of mine who lost his wife. So
it's really sad, but lovely song. Right, Jeanette, are you still watching?
Yes, she is.
How do you know?
Jeanette, you're still there, aren't you?
I bet she's not. I bet she's put her roast potatoes in the oven. Sunday.
Roast potatoes? I love a little bit of roast potato. Oliver?
That's not a euphemism.
I hope you're being... So, Jeanette, if you're still out there... I know what you're doing. I'm trying not to look at it. So Oliver is being... Yes.
Look familiar?
She's there. She's there.
Hello, Jeanette. Hello, my darling. I'm going to start watching again. But I do... if I may... I'll do one with you.
You can do as many as you like.
Oh, thank you. But I'm not really... If I'm honest, I have been utilising... I haven't been writing because there's nothing to write about. I write about unrequited love and people and hardships and sadness, ships and happy ships. But
happy shits?
Yeah.
Shits or shits?
And there's not been anything going on. It's been about the most uninspiring time of my entire life. As it has been for lots of people probably last few months. However, I have been reworking. I've got a new album together, album 3, which I'll start recording. I'm going to start promoting album 2.
Well, that's why you're here.
Well, I'm here to see you as well.
Yeah, but you're here to
hold on a minute.
I just tuned it. It should be in June.
Yeah, okay. This one's for you, Jeanette. You were not to blame. Heaven is your name. Go to bed, she said. You'll be better dead. In my wildest heart, I know. In my wildest heart, I know. In my wildest heart, I know I'm gonna be the one. Go to jail this year. You've not much to fear. In my wildest heart, I know. In my wildest heart, I know. In my wildest heart, I know I'm gonna be the one. Hold on. In the corner of my pantry, lots of things to do. I better sing it right, not everyone knows it. In the morning comes to those who wait. Go to bed, she said. You'll be better dead. In my wildest heart, I know. In my wildest heart, I know. In my wildest heart, I know. I'm gonna be the one. Ow! Why was I so wild? Not anymore, folks. Eager and so wild. Why was I so wild? Why was I so wild? like a child. Why was I so wild? Why am I still wild?
I'm sorry.
I'll hear a new one. I'll play you a new one.
I was very, very bad for joining in because
No, it was great.
I
I
haven't
love
played
it.
that song for ages and I've forgotten how to play it. I was watching your hands on there.
No, I hadn't noticed.
Because where I was sitting, I couldn't see his hands, so I had to look what's going on the screen.
No, I like that a lot.
That's my favourite song of his.
I'll play you a new one if you want.
Of course.
I'll play one more.
You can play as many as you like. What's it called?
It's called Her Favourite Place.
Oh yeah, I like this.
And it's quite new. It's old and new. A bit like me, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 5. Was her favourite place on earth, nowhere like this else on earth. She knew from birth she would rule the earth. We knew from birth we'd rule the earth. Early morning fags and a wake up. She never sets alarms, heavy makeup. It's still her favourite place on earth. We knew from birth we'd rule the earth. Wants to be somewhere else, for in her heart there is someone else. Still a favourite place on earth, nowhere like this else on earth. It's not love, but it's real and it's secure. This isn't love, but it's a cure. This isn't love, but it's real, this I'm sure. But she's still not, no, she's still not sure. Still a favourite place on earth, nowhere like this else on earth. She knew from birth she would rule the earth. We knew from birth we rule the earth. Early morning fags and a wake up. Well, she never sets alarms, heavy makeup. Still a favourite place on earth, nowhere like this else on earth. This isn't love, but it's real and it's secure. It's not love, but it's secure. This isn't love, but it's real, this I'm sure. Well, I hope you enjoy my little love song.
It's a great song. I really like that. Do you know what I like about that? It's that apart from the fact I like the name of the song, I like the song title, but it sounds like you. It's got, it sounds like another great addition to your canon.
It is a bit me. It's I wrote it, so I guess.
I guess it would be, wouldn't it?
No, but it's nice to try. I had this discussion with someone I played. We were in a band for a little bit actually some years ago. But it was a bit half-hearted, and and we weren't really. I know about not taking it seriously, but stuff and whatever gets annoying. But well, thank you very much, by the way.
Well, no, I'm just
I
saying.
can't see anymore, you know.
No, I'm just going through
Thank
the
you, Jeanette.
comments. Because to me, it sounds
Thank you.
like
Thank you all.
it sounds like another great Oliver Shaw song. Is what it sounds like.
Oh, thank you very much. Give me a follow on YouTube if you want, or Spotify, or just type in my name and it'll come up.
But I mean,
Thanks
I like that feel of it. And Agata said,
You get lighter-hearted.
she said the song tastes like summer, garden, and wine.
That's very poetically put. I really like your poetry, Agata. By the way, I meant every word of that. I know I said some, I commented on it and watched it.
Yeah.
Actually, sorry, without complimenting each other too much. No, it's really good. Your guitar playing, I loved it. I'm very much into movie soundtracks at the minute, and your guitar playing, I say lifted it because it was good anyway, but it gave it another dimension.
We're doing another one when she gets back. I mean, my favourite one.
Really good.
My favourite one of hers at the moment.
I'm going to come and see you guys live when you can. It reminds me of something amazing about it.
Whoops.
Did you write that, or is that some classical piece?
Mine.
It's quite sort of doorsy, you know what I mean, like Spanish caravan. Which poem's that one for?
It's called "There Is No God."
Is that the one that was Polish sort of folk?
No.
One?
No, what it is?
Polish folk thing.
No. What it is that
hey, thanks.
it's about a German soldier in Poland in the Second World War who shoots a child in the head, and he said there can be no God for this to happen.
Sorry, by the way, I'm not coming at you, everyone. I'm just reading these lovely things.
And the music, this
is a German Nazi march inspired tune. It's quite fitting for the moment, I guess.
Well, it's meant to be like marching feet. It's meant to be like the marching soldiers.
It's very good. Well, you two are quite a double act together on this. You work very well.
She knows what she wants to sound like, and she just gets me to produce that sound. Because she knew exactly what she wanted. She's like, I want this. And we have there's another one called Mystic's Dream, which is very, I actually do a weird tuning. It's a different folk tuning, and I'm playing drums on the guitar. So I'm kind of going, sort of.
Well, that's cool.
And then it goes. The trouble is, I can't play it because it's a different tuning. It's not in a normal concert tuning.
When I play electric now at home, I started to. It's quite sad, really. I feel like Dick Van Dyke. I started to bang my tambourine. I'm more like Rip Van Winkle.
Yeah, it sets the mood in which she wants the poets to be. So
very good. I'll play you another one if you want.
Of course.
I'll play one more.
You do what you want.
Mate, I'm in the mood now. You've got me in the mood. It's very easy. Be warned, ladies or men.
I've got him. I got him in the mood, ladies.
Because when I get in the mood, I'm on quite a journey.
Am I going to be safe?
No. This one's called Talk, which is very appropriate because we ain't half talk, don't we? 2, 3, 5. We don't talk as much these days, and now I'm a little older. I wanna talk about it, pluck the answers from the sky, shed some tears and don't ask why again. I wanna talk about it if you want me to. Fall in love with you. We still don't talk as much these days. I am old but never wiser. So please don't ask me why, but pluck those answers from the sky, shed some tears and don't ask why again. For you are older too, and if you want me to, fall in love with you. If you want me, oh, what's wrong with you, my love? Oh, what's wrong? Heaven or hell, my love, somewhere in between. Na, 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 na. Look at that! Oh, look at that!
Oh, no.
Look at this. I'm so sorry, Dave.
That's her plectrum.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Well, I could buy you 2 more. I'm sorry about that.
Uh-oh.
It wasn't a very good plectrum, to be honest.
Look what he's done to your plectrum, Kahanya. Oh, it's a white
Agata's
plectrum. Yeah, that's
Well,
her guitar.
Oh, no way. It's great.
No, that one.
Oh, wow, it's great. Oh, I like them all.
He's shredded. Oh, she's going to go mad. Oh,
Well, I do drinks in Camden.
She's-
Always.
she's-
Except I don't really drink anymore, but I'll buy. They're on me. Milky bars are on me.
she
Yeah.
asked if you can play Last of the English Cowboys or Of Darker Plains. Let me get you another plectrum.
In this one, it's quite distinctive of what you do with your voice. Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
That's
I know it's quite wordy. I try and enunciate my pronouncements and pronounce my words better and better.
Great. That
Oh, thank
sounded
you.
great.
Well, I've had lots of time to practice, I guess. You know, you're sounding very good. Musicians have probably come out of this being like 10 times better than they were in the first place. You know. Sorry, I'm reading these comments as well. Hi all. Yeah, sorry, Agata, I broke your pick. Ollie, you owe me a white plectrum now. Okay, I'll get you 2. But I recommend that you don't use white ones anymore because they're a bit shit and that happens to them. You know, but I will continue. I'll get you a couple of white ones. I've only ever used 1 plectrum, and ironically, so I haven't been my guitar today. Something's up with it. The one thing I'm not very good at is fixing guitars, and I've had it more than half my life, and something's up with it. My Gretsch. It has to be thin. No, mine are paper thin. Mine are actually in the world Guinness World Records, mine are the thinnest plectrums ever, but they're just a little bit thicker than a crisp. So
look, it's most of it's still here. Look.
Yeah. We fashioned one out of a Pringle.
But I brought you another one.
Hey, thank you very much.
But so she wants you to do either Of Darker Plains or Last of English Cowboys.
I do have Darker Plains because Last of English Cowboys I haven't played in quite a long time actually. It's about a year or so.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the title track.
Oh, hold on, yeah, sorry.
Of Darker Plains, the current album from Mr. Oliver Shaw.
It's me on the album. It's all the words.
And if you've got that one and haven't got this one, Last of the English Cowboys.
Thanks, Dave.
It's all right.
Find me everywhere.
Find
me where you least expect me. Find me where you don't want me.
Yes, I was quite perturbed to find you under the toilet seat.
Yeah, head, beaming out of your lid. This is called the Darker Plains. 2, 6, 8. It's a bit jazzy. Hold on, it's like a Prince song.
Nothing wrong with that. I love Prince.
Me too. When's he ever going to marry that Camilla? Called the Darker Plains. Well, it's only you, it's always you that I long for. Apart from this, there is no one else. My love, darker plains, take your head off soon and attempt to fill the void. Why not? I walk to your streets, hills and valleys too, for I am your rain of darker plains. Well, it's the same again, and I'm to blame again. We still seek the new as you walk through your bloody veins. I'm still trying to reach you. Story of my life. I can't whistle. There's a whistling bit in it. Am I coming through, NASA? Now my confidence swings like a pendulum, flex the hell I'm living in. Now my confidence swings just like a pendulum, flex the hell I'm living in. Now my confidence swings like a pendulum, flex the hell I'm living in. Now my confidence swings just like a pendulum, flex the hell I'm living in. Now my confidence swings like a pendulum, flex the hell I'm living in. Now my confidence swings like a pendulum, flex the hell I'm living in. It's a high bit. She's running out again. He's running out again. Oh! Hey!
I tell you something, if I knew that song, I could play some amazing Spanish stuff on it. But I wasn't going to join in because I have no idea
it's a funny
how
thing.
it goes, and I didn't want to mess it up, make it sound
No,
shit.
it's one of those things.
Because in my head, I could hear this amazing Spanish stuff I could do
I
on
don't
that.
know if comedians practice jokes to themselves in the mirror, but I've never been. I sing kind of because I have to, and now I love singing in my own thing, and I love representing my songs. And I love singing. I love recording. I love singing. I don't sing at home, so this is the first time I've sung since lockdown. I don't sing to myself at home. If I write a new one, I'll kind of hum along. It's hard to explain. I don't really sing to myself.
I've noticed
so I get very nervous if I'm doing
when I'm rehearsing
thing,
stuff. I rehearse, but I'm not really singing. But I only start singing when I have to do it, and then I find actually my voice isn't as warmed up as I thought it would be. Musicians like to have themselves on the album. Oh, Jeanette wants. Where's my signed album?
Is Of Darker Plains a metaphor for anything in particular? Well, if you want the long version, my mum used to be a Labrador breeder. Back in the early 90s, Agata.
I was not expecting that.
We went to take the bitch to a stud up near Manchester in this place called Cheadle. And
I know that. I know Cheadle.
Really, randomly, musicians know everywhere in the country, like Uber drivers. So we took my beloved Blossom up to be mated through.
I thought it was going to be some dark story of drugs or broken hearts.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's
dark,
it's
isn't
about a
it?
dog.
Well, no, and I was about 9 years old, and we used to go along, and we drove through what can only be described in I don't know what the translation is, but plains in America, in England, we call them plains. The plains, long stretches of open land.
Are you talking about Saddleworth Moor above Manchester?
Yes, above. We drove past Saddleworth Moor, pitch black, 3 a.m, with the bitch in the back, my mum in the front seat. Driving a 9-year-old me, if you can imagine that, folks. And
Bob Strauss.
yeah, and that was it. And it stuck with me my whole life. You know the old Jim Morrison thing. You know, Indians scattered on dawn's highway bleeding, ghosts cloud the young child's.
I know what he's talking about.
But he was only 9 years old, and his family were driving along the freeway, and there was a group of Native Americans. I think had been in a car accident.
And they were dying.
Died, yeah. And it affected his whole life. The plains of where you just said affected me my whole life. And it's something I've written about. That and the sea. I write about the sea a lot. And I don't know why.
Well, you know that the Saddleworth Moors is where the Moors murderers killed the kids.
Yes, there's also...
So it has a dark history when you know about it.
It's not directly about that. It's my interpretation. It's just about the plains. Also, it was linked... I didn't necessarily want to link it. Strangely, it does link in with my first album a little bit because last thing to Cowboys, plains. You hear cowboys talk about plains more than anyone probably. Oh, I'm getting myself out to these plains.
Could you tell me? I do know, but I've forgotten the story behind "Everyone Needs a Dan Leno."
Oh, they sound like proper tenuous links today. But the story behind "Everyone Needs a Dan Leno" is my sort of. It's about spirit guides, I guess, is a tenuous link, is a loose thing. But I love the actor, and I love stories about him as much as I actually love him as a performer. But there's an actor, a comedy actor, one of the greatest British actors called Peter Sellers. And when he was about 40 years old, so pretty young, he was married to Britt Eklund. He was the most famous British movie star around at that time. And he was only 40, and he had a massive heart attack, and he was announced on the BBC, only person ever, that he died. And the next day on the BBC, they had to announce that they resuscitated and revived him. And he was alive still, which is very much of his nature. You know, he lived quite a lot. It's quite unfitting the way he was. But he'd basically taken lots and lots of cocaine. I think he was having sex with Britt Eklund and had a massive heart attack. And anyway...
I mean, if you've got to go...
He was 42, I think
if you've got to go...
The worst ways to go. Better than how he went, actually. Anyway, he was resuscitated and came back to life. And the link there is because when he came back to life, he believed, because he was a little bit nuts, he believed he was immortal. And his spiritual guide was a street performer from the turn of the last century called Dan Leno. So I wrote a song with that in mind called Everyone Needs a Dan Leno. Everyone needs a spiritual guide. Yeah, he lived most of the rest of his life after he was 40 odd, believing that he was somewhere between his dead mother, who was dead. Yeah, and this guy called Dan Leno. And he talked to his manager on the phone, and they'd say, "Hey, Peter, I've got a job for you. Well, you've got to be in Austria for like the next 3 weeks." And he'd be holding the moment, and the phone would go dead for ages. And he'd be talking to someone, and he'd come back and say, "Yes, I've consulted with Dan." And he says, "No." And his manager would go, "Who the hell's Dan? Have you got a new manager?" He said, "Oh, Dan Leno." He talked to this guy, or he talked to his mum. I thought in modern day terms, I guess people would say, "Oh, he's got OCD, oh, he's got schizophrenia." Yes, there's lots of different things.
I mean, I know
he could have had, but that's not what I'm interested in.
I knew it was in Pete Sellers, but I didn't know that bit. So that was a much more in-depth explanation than I knew about. I knew about the Peter Sellers thing. I knew it was something to do with. That's why I asked.
And equally, I don't know why. I try not to question. I like so many weird people in pop culture. I try not to question why I like them. I guess I don't know if it's the same for you. You think, well, it's like something that makes you laugh, or something that turns you on, or something that turns you out or off. You don't question too much what I like. I
think it depends.
Sometimes I do more when you lament something when you write a song. I guess you think, oh, what's that about? But anyway, folks, that's what it's about.
No, well, I just said I knew there was a story behind it. It wasn't just a throwaway thing.
This album's a bit more like that. There's lots of little. They're all 10 stories, all a little darker. And I suppose that has a dark.
Well, don't forget on Facebook, is it Oliver Shaw Experience or is Oliver Shaw Music?
You just type in Oliver Shaw. I come up. Yeah, Oliver Shaw Music on everything.
And Instagram.
Yeah,
and
Instagram,
iTunes.
Yeah, my website olivershawmusic.com.
Yeah, so that's where you can get both of these.
Yeah.
You can get them on download, or you can get them on vinyl.
And if you contact me this week, and if you're familiar with any of my work, I will handwrite some lyrics for you and pop them in the vinyl if you buy one this week and write a lovely message. Or I might do a little drawing as well. I've been drawing a lot recently.
So if you hear that, you'll get, if you contact him this
Make
week,
it extra special.
You will get a handwritten lyrics or a little drawing. I think
for
both,
example, if you
both.
like Darker Planes, but I do little sketches for almost each of my, I do little doodles and more, I guess.
Kohanya, what do you want? She wants a request from me. What do you want? I have a feeling I might know. She says, "Can I have a request from Dave?"
Yes. It was Dave's show.
No, it's not. It's our show. Okay. Yes, Kohanya, what would you like? Bitter Tears. You want me to? I thought you were going to say Oxygen. Okay.
By the way, Agata, I hope that answers all your questions. 10 minutes later.
No, but that's it's much better than just saying.
Don't ask me. Don't ask me.
Oh, it's just It's just
I'm one of those people. If ever there was one, just don't fucking ask me anything. I could go on for hours.
No, but there are some people that you could ask them and they go, "Oh, it's just a made-up story."
Yeah, well, it's like that Noel Gallagher quote I said ages ago. Like, oh, he was whimsical. I'm sure. I know it is. Because he's a songwriter. Oh, lyrics are not important. They're absolutely important. I said the great irony about that is people for years have sung his lyrics loud and clear in the streets. They did with the Smiths. All that kind of, not just to hang the DJ. A lot of Smiths choruses. They're crowds, and that's not. I don't think that's a Manchester connection. It's just one of those things. It's a British thing. They're crowds.
Well,
if you watch YouTube videos of the Smiths, if you will, at the height of their fame in England, there'd be like a football crowd, people bowing.
Yeah, but it was
amazing,
it was electric, wasn't it?
It's like a decade later, from 84 to 94. If you watched Oasis, it was like that as well. Maybe it is an English thing. I've wondered that my whole life. They've got a huge cult following. They both have it in the States. Oasis, everyone knows Oasis. Smiths have got a massive cult following.
I mean, if Oasis were to come back now,
it's like the Ramones would do here. They're quite an important band, the Smiths, in America, but it's not like it was in England. And in England, it was just a phenomenon.
The sad thing about the Ramones is that here, I mean, I saw them play. The smallest venue I ever saw the Ramones play was the Astoria.
Wow.
The smallest.
That's been cool, though, yeah.
But I mean,
I'm not a huge fan, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm
not to
America.
In America, you could see the Ramones in somewhere like the borderline.
Yeah. It's mad.
And I
saw the Strokes at.
I saw the Strokes at the Barfly. I told you.
I saw them random. No one believes me, and I don't think there's even any footage on YouTube. I saw them at the Natural History Museum, the Strokes, and it was a special thing. I got tickets for.
I told you the Strokes. I saw them play it
when their third album came out.
It was called the Barfly, then it was called. It was called the Assembly Rooms. The thing on the corner, upstairs. And guess who was there? There were two people there who were at it was the Strokes' first UK gig.
No way.
The album wasn't even out. They had an EP called The Modern Age.
Yeah. It was like the Black Label or whatever you call it.
I saw them then. But guess who was there? Two American rock stars. Guess who it was? Huge American rock stars.
I can't guess. There's too many. Like the guy from Aerosmith.
No. Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons from Kiss.
Oh my god. Well, there was a New York connection. Actually, with them. There's a few New Yorkers who are like really big on. There was this comedian who used to support them on tour. Actually, who was really famous.
I mean, this was like you know how small that room is.
Yeah.
I mean, you've played it. I've played it.
I'm a Manic Street Preachers obsessive, and I watch hours and hours of Nicky Wire. If you look on my profile, there's a picture of Dickie Wire. If anyone wonders who that is, he's the bass player and poet and genius for the Manic Street Preachers. But he said one of his great early Manics, where they thought they'd made it, is they were all, because I know that feeling of bands and whatever. You think he was 19 years old. They'd all come to London, the Manic Street Preachers. They were playing at what is now the Monarch, and they said they were playing in front of about 4 people. And the day before, they'd all come to London, and the day before, Sony had given them something like, I think it was like 50,000 quid budget, you know, and they'd got a major record deal, and they were doing, but they were playing in front of 3 people, and he was going nuts, jumping up his bass amp. Yeah, but that's like everyone's been through that in bands. Every single musician, you know.
First time I saw the Manic Street Preachers was supporting a band from New York called the Frobs at the Marquee.
Wow.
Which would have been. This was when they were still in the wearing all white.
Yeah,
phase,
yeah.
The white
phase. Well, that was the earliest. Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, do you know, I've only seen the Manic Street Preachers once without Richie. All the other times were with Richie.
And that was when they were quite big.
Well, no, I saw them play at the Wembley Arena on the This Is My Truth, Tell Me Yours tour.
Yeah.
And that's the only time I've seen them without Richie, because all the other times were with Richie.
They're such an English phenomenon. I mean, they're
Welsh.
huge.
If you call them English, they'd kill
British.
you. They're Welsh.
I've got Welsh family. Yeah.
They're Welsh.
I love them as well.
Oh, hang on.
If anyone wants to join
I challenge you to sing and play in a duet after Bitter Tears. You can choose which song. Well, we already did in My Wildest Heart.
Also, it takes me an hour and a half to get home. I've just realised what the time is. I wear a watch, but I never read it.
Well, I'm going to do my Bitter Tears.
Oh, and then I might shoot.
Let me just.
I might shoot. Apologies, but I don't know how long you do these shows for. But I literally. Okay, so my only thing is, I'm not taking London transport. I'm not taking transport, whatever. And so I walked here. Make it sound like it was a real mission, but I'm on a great love is walking. Took me makes you appreciate how big London is, because I walked for over an hour and a half. I did get a bit lost though.
I remember coming back from a tour.
You both live in North London. Yeah, it was an hour and a half to get here.
I remember coming back from a tour somewhere in Europe, and I remember flying over. We were coming into London, and we were literally flying over the conurbation that is London for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And before we, that was just coming into land. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Whereas you go somewhere like Berlin, you just fly and just land, you're there.
Yeah, I know.
Good cardio.
What?
Oh, I think she's talking about. That's not a cardigan. It's a jean jacket.
That's a jean jacket.
Well, I haven't played this song for ages. I don't think.
I do like a good cardigan though.
Unless, of course, I played it last week. I did actually play it last week. Okay, there's me saying I haven't played it for ages. Oh, she's saying it's good cardio exercise for you to walk.
Well, yeah, there's lots of things that are good cardio exercise. But that's the only thing. That's the only one I'm able to do at the moment. I just stopped doing my German accent. I did it to you earlier.
Well, earlier on, I was doing my Winston. I was like, Sir Oliver!
Yeah, but that's all right.
Sir Oliver!
An Englishman doing a posh voice is all right.
Sir Oliver, I've come to do a show and... Oh, I'm not going to repeat what I said, but...
Don't repeat what you said, Dave!
9! 9!
Who is this on my lovely Mark? Oh, look at him.
Actually, one of the things I always find when you're in Germany and you're hanging out with German people who I love, they always go, I'm going to tell you a very funny story. And then they tell you the story and you just look at them and then they're going, and I'm like,
you can't say that.
No, but I've noticed when I first
No, they're very chatty. I
love Germany. I've played in Germany more than any other country apart from here.
Pretty different.
Oh,
I stayed 3 weeks in Hamburg. That's a long story.
I've played in Hamburg.
Yeah, I loved it. I was in St. Pauli or each show. Yeah, I really enjoyed it actually.
Played in Kiel as well, above Hamburg.
Oh right, yeah, I've heard of it.
Because a bunch of guys from the St. Pauli, she was doing her Polish accent. Okay, right. I'm going to do my Bitter Tears. It's going to be weird. This is going to be a depressive song and we're having a laugh. Anyway. It's not the rain falling from the sky. It's the tears of disappointment falling from my eyes. It's not the first time, it won't be the last. Sad as it is, I can't escape my past. Bad decisions, bad judgment cost me dear. And now I face my final fear. My tears are welling up. Nothing I can do to make them stop. My bitter tears, my biggest fear. My bitter tears, my bitter tears. It wasn't meant for my life to be this way. But this melancholic air looks set to stay. Bad luck stalks me at every turn. You dance too close to the fire and you will burn. And now it's all over and it's all said. There's nothing left now except my regret. The tears are welling up. Nothing I can do to make them stop. My bitter tears, my biggest fear. My bitter tears, my bitter tears. Woo! Now there's nothing left now but a shell. It's difficult to believe that once all was well. But happiness and hope don't live here anymore. And there's nothing left here except for my bitter tears, my bitter tears, my bitter tears. My bitter tears, my bitter tears, my bitter tears, my bitter tears.
Woo! I've got to say though, Agata says, hold on. I wanted to say it song. It's called My Bitter Tears. How sad do you want to be? It's sad.
Hang on, let me just.
That was a sad one.
It was.
I'm going to request a sad one, actually.
Are you?
My favourite of your songs.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if you, only if you want.
What is it?
The title skipped my mind for the second. The one about your dad, or the one you dedicated.
Oh, Just Because You're Gone.
Just Because You're Gone. I'd love that one, please. That would be my request.
Okay.
If you'd be so kind. I'd like to hear that one.
Do you know what? I'm going to give you a little. The lead will go. And then. That's the lead. And it goes something like this. 1, 2. This is the first song on my album. It's called Just Because You're Gone. This goes out to Ollie. Just because you're doesn't mean I don't love you. Just because you're not there, it doesn't mean that I don't care. The rooms you once inhabited were filled with your light, plunged into darkness as you stepped out of sight. Just because you're gone, it doesn't mean I don't love you. Just because you're not there, it doesn't mean that I don't care. Because I do. Because I do. Because I do. I still miss you, and I always will. The last time I kissed you, it lingers on in my memory still. The years that you were there were the best years of my life. You were always so supportive throughout the trouble and the strife. Just because you're gone, it doesn't mean I don't love you. Just because you're not there, it doesn't mean that I don't care. Because I do. Because I do. Woo. Because I do. You never judged, you were always there for me. How many years have passed, and I've not forgotten, you see. Your memory still burns deep down inside of me. That's the way that it will always be. Just because you're gone, it doesn't mean I don't love you. Just because you're not there, it doesn't mean that I don't care. Because I do. Because I do. Because I do. Because I do. Because I do.
Hey! One of my favourites.
Because it was originally supposed to go. Ooh.
It's funny, do you find it when you record stuff? So that's been recorded for the album. Yeah?
Mm.
When you record stuff, it kind of laments it in an art way, and it's a very simple, my simple definitive explanation of how I see it artistically. If you write something, it can have lots. It's quite an open playing field still. When you record something, it's kind of laments it as you that is your stamping grounds. Lots of bands will play a song to try and replicate the recording that they've done, because that's the better example of it. Well, and I've got one. There's a song on my first album called Silent Moving, and it's not the hardest song in the world, but it was quite a block. It was a mental block because I had recorded that out of all the songs with a friend of mine, and I thought, oh, that, and it was quite nice. It had this grand piano on it and whatever. So trying to re-record it as an updated song, it's kind of like getting Blur to re-record song 2 today and expecting it to sound exactly the same. You know, well, some life changes music. You know, the stuff that I think.
I mean, I try to record the songs. I try to have played them live before I've recorded them, so that they've already evolved. Because there's nothing worse than making a song and then you go out and play it live 100,000 times and it changes completely. So what I've done with this one,
I guess so.
With this one, I actually had to get hold of.
I play with a band now, so when I do, and it makes them quite set, I guess. But then it's
Well, I had to actually go back to this one to check to see, because it was one of the first songs I recorded. It was the second song I recorded for the album, so it was over a year ago. And I'm like, I had to listen back to it, and I'm actually because I wasn't quite sure what I'd done. Because like in the chorus, I'm like, whereas before it was. But then I've gone just because
it just depends. If you get some people, I don't know, using extreme examples today, but like Paul Simon trying to change, his most famous songs. He'll try and do a jazzy version.
Well, Bob Dylan does it all the time.
Yeah, I know. I bet he does.
She says her problem with that song is that the music's too cheerful for the words. It's deliberately like that because I could have sat there and gone,
Well, I got it though, because it was like an ode, a happy one for your dad.
It's a celebration
because
of
your
his
dad
life.
might not have been. Well, there you go.
It's a celebration of his life because it's meant to be remembered with fondness rather than sadness. Although the words are sad, but
yeah, there's a bit of a contrast with lots of my songs, I guess, if I really sit down and analyse them. But some of my happier ones have darker lyrics, and happier sounding ones have darker lyrics, and vice versa.
Well,
really.
My saddest sounding song is probably, there's one called The Abyss, which I won't do, and there's another one called If You Ever, and that was what I was just doing. That's no, it doesn't. It goes like this. Don't play it very often. If you ever wonder why I left without saying goodbye, if you ever thought about it at all, but you didn't, did you? See, like that. It's deliberately. Yeah. It's meant to be. It's deliberately. It's taking the piss out of being. It's not really actually me being serious.
Yeah.
It's just me tongue in cheek. Although it's not. The delivery is not like that. It's meant to sound miserable, but it's actually me poking fun at it. It depends. Certain songs.
Sometimes a song and a melody. There's a song by, I don't listen to them very much, but at the time, obviously, I listened to them. I thought they were good. There's a song called Jeanette. I don't know if you were still watching. Music When the Lights Come On. Music When the Lights Go Out, is it?
There's
a Libertine song. And it's quite a happy, kind of it's happier sounding one, but I think it's one of their saddest songs as a band.
I love that song.
Yeah, it's a great song, but I always noticed a little hint of sadness, Look at, I don't know, Help, the lyrics of Help by the Beatles, and it's a quite happy sounding song, but I think John Lennon literally meant it, at the time.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to play one song.
Help!
I'm going to play another song for Matty Roxx. He asked for this.
I might have to shoot off. It's been lovely being a guest, but it took me fucking hours.
Okay, well, what I was going to do is I was going to play this song for Matty, and then I was going to give you the guitar and ask you to play 1980.
Oh, yeah, I'll try.
1980 is one of my favourite songs of Ollie, but I'm just going to do this one.
With pleasure, but I'll have to
this is for Matty.
Okay.
This is The Night Sandy Came to Town. This is on the album. Because it's the end of the show, so but I want him to do 1980. Tonight it's cold in New York City. Those famous lights have gone out downtown. East Village is underwater. What's happening to this old town? The night Sandy came to town. The night Sandy came to town. Breezy Point is burning. Rock Rockaway Beach, Broadwalk, been washed away. Howard Beach is underwater. What would old Blue Eyes have to say about the night Sandy came to town? The night that Sandy came to town. Times Square is empty and windswept. There's no one out tonight in this town. Over on Staten, there's no electricity. All power is down. The night Sandy came to town. The night Sandy came to town. Imagine New York City Harbor, middle of November. It's cold and foggy. You can't see a damn thing. For the first time in its history, the famous New York subway is under the sea. Well, I don't know about you, but I take my hope from that statue out in the bay, welcoming everyone in. And I know that this old town will win, because the night that Sandy came to town, the night that Sandy came to town. Let's take it away now. Thank you very much. Ollie, do you want to do 1980?
I'd love to, but I don't know if I can remember it. I'll try. I
Try.
can only try.
Because I want you to play the last song of the night. That's why.
Oh, thank you very much.
My leg went to sleep.
Oh, yeah, it's something like that. Okay. I'm going to play a song for Dave that I haven't played in years.
I love this song. I was really disappointed that it wasn't on the album.
What is it? Oh, that's it. Okay, that's right. It's quite an easy one.
It's a beautiful song.
Okay. Sorry.
It's all right.
1980 was the year that Lennon died. It was 3 years before I was born. I would have cried. So sail me out to sea. on a boat made out of leaves, and I would breathe the air with nobody chasing me. If you want me, call my name. If you love me, call my name. I did not feel alive until I was 35. There were no fruity greens and nobody chasing me. So sail me out to sea on a boat made out of leaves. I would breathe you there with nobody chasing me. If you want me, call my name. If you need me, call my name. Lost and found me, call my name. All that surrounds me, call my name. 1980 was the year that Lennon died. Was 3 years before I was born, I would have cried.
Oh, thank you very much,
All right.
Ollie. I love that song so much.
It's been a pleasure. I haven't played it in a while.
I know, but I love that song.
Thank
I'm
you
just
very
gonna
much.
Stick it on there.
Thank everyone that's
Tuned in.
It's tuned in. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon. I got to walk because I'm walking from Wood Green. Is it okay to say where you are here?
Yeah.
Wood Green to to where I am in Holloway, the better end of Holloway, of course.
But of course.
Not near the Morrison, you know. And, but thank you all very much, and stay tuned and stay watching and check out the Spoons.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and thank you, Ollie, for coming.
I'll see you soon.
And we will see you soon. Take care.
So I hope you can't see my member.
Take care. Bye bye.
Hold on, I gotta get out.
Your member.
Well, you know what I mean. My girlfriend.